And welcome back to Mr. Caro Plays FM24. Now today we're going to look at another how-to, in this case how to make money on your first day with minimal effort. Okay, we are talking about transfer clauses that will benefit us and will enable us to make money from the start of the game. Now, this does not apply to all teams. It is worth pointing out this is only teams that have these clauses already embedded in the game when you start the save. Now, one team I knew had a lot of these in, so I'm using this as my example, but it is worth pointing out, as I say, that not every team has this amount of clauses in. Now, I've got a save with Norwich open on this game, and they have one clause and not a big one. So this is an exception, perhaps, to have as many as there are in this particular team. This team is Southampton. However, it is worth pointing out this is a thing that will help us and also could, in some aspects, work against us, depending on if that clause is both a good clause in terms of money that we can make or in terms of a clause you might want to sell. Okay, so if we go into our clauses and we are looking specifically in the in section. Now, in this case, if we go back down to the first one, you'll notice that this clause is only 22,000, but nevertheless, it's 10% of his next transfer owned. And you can see there are quite a lot of clauses here, like like if I was to agree to buy back for Manchester City, so they could buy a player back from us. But if we go down to Højbjerg, you can see that there is a chance for us to negotiate 2.5 million off the cuff and straight away. Okay, so if we were to, for example, cash in that, what you'll see if you go to your news, if you go to the very top, you'll see that now it says up the top there that it has gone 2.5 million, and we should see that in our finances. You should see an input for somewhere in there. There you go, players sold of 2.5 million. So it's all reflecting in that players sold. Now I don't know. We perhaps should have looked to see if the if that would be reflective in our transfer budget, but I would say it probably would, and we're going to test that if there's any more that we can cash in, hopefully another bigger one, which will give us a better kind of impact on that. Okay, so if we scroll down again and we're looking for one of these clauses again, see if there's anyone. Okay, this is of 600,000. Okay, that's a good example in there, because if we were to go back to our transfer budget again, and we're going to see if that goes up to over the 23 million pound mark, which it should do if this clause has been cashed. Now, there aren't as many as I thought there would be for this team, but I guess if we look through some of the other ones in a second, we'll notice that they may reflect us and help us in the future. So we're going to sell that in there, and we're going to go to our thing and see what transfer budget we get. And indeed, we do have the 23 million in there. Now, it is worth pointing out with this that it is only going to be the percentage that you get in terms of selling a player. So that is worth pointing out. If you get, let's say, 10% of those sales, then obviously it's going to impact you in a different way than if you get more. Okay, so it is worth pointing out that, because it's something that you could easily get drawn into, make a little bit of money, and then it doesn't work out for you as you would expect. Okay, now if we look at our clauses in a negative way, in the out section, there are quite a lot in here. So if we were to want to buy out some of these clauses, we could pay Rangers 800,000 and then another 700,000 in there. So you might want to do that. If you've got a lot of transfer budget left and you know this player is going to be worth more and you don't want to give 10% of it away, or in this case, Rangers, if you want to sell this player, you want to play this player, but you don't want to pay, you can save a little bit of money, then it is perhaps worth doing in there. It is worth looking into, at least. I would say with anything of this, it's always worth looking into, but take into account that the more you kind of sell in that, it will either work in your favor or not. So if we go to another player who probably will make us money on the long one, this player that was sold to Chelsea, after a certain period of time, 30%, for example, 20% of profit made on that transfer of 53 million would go to Southampton. So it is worth pointing out. And if we look at these installments as well, in July 2024, there'll be 7 million. 2025, 7 million. So 7 million from this player alone every transfer window for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So it is worth pointing out that could really benefit us within this. So actually, Southampton are a pretty glorious example of this, but actually also a good if you needed the team to manage, then actually they would be pretty good in that sense as well. Purely on the clause in the kind of passive income that you could make from from using this team, if you like, it's quite incredible. But yeah, that is basically how we cash in the clauses. Like I say, it's a really easy way of making money on the opening day. Okay, before you do anything else, if your transfer budget is particularly low, and I know some clubs it's lower than what you anticipate it being, it is worth going in there and seeing, can I cash in on this? You are giving up when you do that, giving up some ability to earn a little bit more, perhaps. However, sometimes instant money, instant finances is going to benefit you more, okay? If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Hit that notification button to see when the videos are released. Thank you and goodbye.